fans, AdamHarry back in with another BoLS unboxing. I have a very special guest today.
Hi, I'm StableAbe.
And we're taking a look at the new Star Wars Armada expansion. This is the Corellian Conflict Campaign Expansion. It's pretty cool stuff. Front of the box.
Really amazing front of the box. I really love this picture. I hadn't really been able to get a good chance to look at it closely because it's a little dark. So until I actually got the box, if you haven't seen this, you should really take a close look because it's one of the best pieces of Star Wars artwork I've seen in a long time. It's
really good. Yeah, just the Star Destroyers fighting. Yeah, it's there's some other little things in there too.
Details,
There's some details to pick out. We'll let you guys meander at that later. Here's the back of the box real quick. This is again a campaign system that's designed for 2 to 6 players. It's got a new star map, a ton of new cards. There's a bunch of new pilots for your squadrons. There's also, what else is there, Abe?
There's a bunch of new missions. Yeah. There's some different objective cards. There's some station cards, so you can now use like armed space stations in your conflict. Nice. And a lot of these, all of the new like unique pilot cards and most of the missions are actually going to be tournament, regular play legal, so not just the campaign. So that's a big bonus, you know, if you like playing Star Wars Armada casual games or if you're a tournament player.
Right on. So basically, if you are a tournament player, this is probably going to be a must-buy just because of the extra squadron pilots and everything like that. Like
the missions especially.
The missions
You're going to want those missions for you.
It's a meta changer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right on. Well, let's pop open the box real quick. We've already taken off the plastic wrap. So starting off, we have the Corellian Conflict Campaign Guide. We'll go through this one here in a little bit later. Let's move that to the side for now. We've got, looks like a fleet roster. Abe, why don't you open that up? I'll keep going here. And we've got like a map.
That's the actual campaign map, which is a pretty little simple thing.
Yeah. It looks like a poster almost, so if you wanted to open this up and frame it or something like that. Whoa, okay, folds out one more time. You can see there's quite a bit. I'm going to zoom out actually because there's a lot of stuff here. So, wow, okay, this is the Corellian sector.
Yep. And
a bunch of different planets to fight over, different areas to go. And they all have little things like, for instance, Corellia here is right in the middle, or kind of in the middle. It's got a repair yard and 3 objective cards. Looks like all these different planets have little bonuses and things like that. So, looks like the top number, the yellow one, is a resource bonus. The bottom one is a victory bonus. And then there's a location bonus. Also looks like you could do stuff like add a sticker or stuff like that. So
yeah, there's some different like bonuses things you can put on here. That's a pretty cool map.
That's strategic effect too. Yeah,
it's a pretty cool map. You've got if you're a Star Wars fan, you probably know a lot of these. I mean, they got Center Point Station. That's obviously
I remember that one.
A famous little Star Wars thing. This is the Corellian system itself, and then just a bunch of other
Raiders Point.
Yeah, Duro.
I'm sure these are all mentioned at some point in the fluff, but you can kind of get the picture there. So that's the map. Again, it is a pretty high quality poster board map, so something to use for later. I'll put that to the side. Gotta have tokens.
We gotta have tokens. Wouldn't be fancy fly.
That's right. Good old FFG bringing all the tokens. These are stickers actually, but the tokens are here. So
I think these are control stickers or something. You put on. I haven't read all the rules yet because we just opened the box.
Right, and I think these are the stickers. I was just talking about you can put the stickers on the map. So I don't know if I'd do that personally. I'd probably like cut these out and put them on like
some sort of thing,
poster board or something so that you could replay the campaign later.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's definitely this is while a lot of the stuff is good for multiple uses. You can tell like you get a pair of
oh yeah, what did you get in the box there?
So you get a pair of rosters, one for the Imperials, one for the Rebels. That's for your actual team. And this will actually keep track of where bases are, outpost resources.
Just to call us out real quick, it does say down at the bottom here, permission granted to photocopy for personal use. So if you wanted to run multiple campaigns or something like that, you totally can do that.
And then you also get 6 of these, which are your actual fleet rosters.
Nice.
Which I think you can, I don't remember if each player can only have 1 fleet. I know your fleet can kind of change, so...
Sure. It probably depends. It's probably in the rules, but I would assume that there's 1 for each player unless you're playing a smaller number of players.
Yeah.
And you want to have like, 3 fleets per side to kind of maneuver and do like fleet maneuvers instead of just doing the battles.
But there is a fair amount of like one use. I mean, it's high quality one use stuff. That you can play one really good campaign out of this and then use all the other stuff.
Right.
For your regular games, or you could figure out a way to reuse the stuff.
Yeah, I think photocopying and I think being a little bit like even taking these stickers and cutting them out and sticking them to index cards and then cutting those out would probably be a great way to make these reusable versus one-shot type things.
On the other hand, a lot of times, because of the nature of this pack, you know, your 6 friends might actually buy 6 of these packs because you all want the missions. You all want the cards. So
losing one pack, not that
losing one pack. Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna play this one campaign. They probably are gonna release more campaign games.
Speaking of cards, here are those cards. I'm gonna let Abe look at those real fast.
Get these out.
Yep, I took these. These are all the punch outs that you get. Obviously, you're gonna get more. FFG games gotta have tokens. So we've got a bunch of the different fleet markers and things like that. I guess these are probably for veterans or something?
Yeah, there's a way you can get veteran
look at that. So it's two-sided. These are all really cool looking. Then you've got all the different dials and the more veterans and stuff like that. These are the different pilots. Obviously, for the name pilots, they do have the faces on them again. So that's pretty cool. And then last but not least, for the punch-outs, we have more fleet stuff. These look like they could be leaders of some type. Looks like Mon Mothma's silhouette.
That's the spy from Who Kind of Finds Where the Millennium Falcon is on Tatooine.
It's true.
And then these are the new. They're like dust clouds or nebula cloud. New objectives. There's new asteroids. There's new asteroids, and then there's a second space station.
Nice.
Because some of the missions now are going to call for you to have 2 space stations. A lot of the new missions add more debris onto the field. So you're actually going to have more terrain on your table, even just in regular play games.
Yeah, which I think is a good thing. I think it definitely helps. I know space is a big, vast, empty, ball of nothing, but it's more interesting when there's stuff on the board to maneuver around. And then we always do this double check just to make sure, but this is just the bottom. There's nothing else in the box. So
someday they'll hide something.
Well, no, they do occasionally have like miniatures. I knew this one wouldn't have it, but like the Doom box had miniatures hidden. So, Abe's got those cards up. What are we looking at for cards?
So here's the first 8. I'm not going to go over all these because there's a lot of cards in this box.
Sure.
These are the campaign.
Let me zoom in too. Go ahead and lay them down.
Yeah, these are going to be the new green missions, and these are just for the campaign.
Yeah.
There's some special missions that you can use within the campaign. That's my understanding, at least.
Yeah.
Or no, maybe it's the green. No, you can use the green missions normal. It's these blue missions that are just within the campaign, I think.
Okay. But you get 8 of these green missions.
No, the green missions. I'm sorry. The green missions are just for the campaign, is my understanding.
Okay.
And there's some new missions that are just kind of some different fun things. Like you've got independent space stations, hyperlane raid.
Yeah.
You've got base defense with arm stations or ion cannons, or you launch a wing of fighters from your space station.
So these are all different, basically unique setups and unique special rules. Yeah. And some of them have end of game situations and things like that. It's just different ways to play through the missions, right?
Yeah. So like, for instance, the base defense fighter wing gives one player an extra 40 points of fighters that are coming off of his base, basically.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So there's some cool little
ones. What are the other ones we've got here?
So then these are going to be the new
red missions,
yellow missions.
Right on.
And then the blue missions. So you've got the...
We'll do the blues last because you can't really see them, but...
And these are all the new missions. These are both used in the campaign, and these are going to be legal for tournament play.
Okay.
And regular play, and they're just a bunch of different missions. Some of them are kind of, little tweaks to existing missions. Other ones are completely new ones.
Right on.
You've got...
and if you've never played Armada before, all these missions have a point value.
And most of them do, yeah.
Yeah, well, these have a null point value, so it's a little different. But there's ways to score points because of the mission. But Abe, do you want to explain kind of how those points work?
Yeah, so there's a couple different ways the points can work. Most of the time, you'll have something where you have an objective that you're trying to complete, and every time you complete that objective during the mission, you get a objective token.
Right.
Such as in the fighter ambush, anytime a squadron deals a damage card to a ship, that player gets a victory token, and then those tokens are each at the end of the game. They're worth a number. Each token is worth a number of victory points equal to that total.
And ideally, for point scoring, again, you want the person that does the most damage to the enemy fleet for each basically like ship you destroy or squadron destroy.
Right.
You get those points, and you add up your objective points too, and you compare points at the end to see who actually won the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these can be pretty big. Some of these don't have them because they add just a benefit to one player or another. Sure. A lot of them do have some sort of objective token. Some of them you can get multiple times, like this one doesn't have any cap. Others, like Capture the VIP, you really you can get it once. You can
yeah,
get 50 bonus.
But it's 50 bonus, exactly.
50 bonus, yeah.
Yeah, these are pretty cool. And then last but not least, let's look at the blue missions real fast. Probably more of the same.
It's very similar. They're just a different type of mission, but
yeah. Move those up. You can kind of take a look there.
Yeah.
Just all again, each one's got a different setup or slightly variations of the same kind of setup. Special rules involved in any end of the round scenario type things too. So let's go pause real quick and then we'll take a look at all of the new squadrons and ship cards. So here are the Imperial Starfighter squadrons. A ton of new stuff here. Again, all of these Starfighter squadrons already have models.
Yeah.
But now we've got a way for you to change them out and upgrade them or swap them out and stuff like that. So
and all of these are unique. So you can never have more than one of any of these in your fleet.
Right.
At a time. So but they all are from the original Wave 1 fighters.
Right. So you got your Wave 1 fighter squadrons, but these are the unique pilots you can add. Or squadrons in that case. Because you've got things like Black Squadron and specific fighters like Valen here. So
yeah.
Abe, where do we start, man? Which one do we start with?
We've actually covered most of these before. A lot of these were released.
Yeah.
So we've covered these 6. Sienna Ray, Saber Squadron, Gamma Squadron, Captain Jonas, Black Squadron, and Valen Rudor from Star Wars Rebels we've kind of talked about them before, but I think the cool ones that we haven't really seen before, unless you went and read some French translations, I think, were these two, Tempest Squadron and Zeratic Storm. These are the TIE Advanced new models, and TIE Advanced, not necessarily everyone's favorite fighter, but does look pretty cool.
It does.
They're pretty cool. So Tempest Squadron is basically a normal TIE Advanced, except it gets bomber.
Okay.
So it's a little better at shooting big ships, which is actually pretty cool because they're not a horrible ship. And then I actually like Zeratic Storm a lot.
Yeah.
So what he's a TIE Advanced.
Is it Storm or Strom?
Strom. Maybe it's Strom.
I don't know. Spelled wrong is what it is. Just kidding.
Strom wrong. Anyway, so he's got 2 really cool things going for him. So the first thing, if you notice, is that he's got 3 red dice.
Which is pretty deadly.
It's pretty deadly.
Yeah.
So it's a little more random. It maxes out, but it does max out at 6 anti-squadron damage, which means he's one of the few guys that can one-shot an X-Wing or something.
Sure, yeah.
And then his special ability here is that when he's attacking, he can choose another friendly squadron at distance 1. If he does, that squadron suffers 1 damage, and he can reroll any number of his attack dice.
Wow.
So
that's really powerful.
That's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Especially if you've got some tough Tempest squadrons or bomber.
For 1 point of damage, getting a reroll and just getting another shot at rolling those double hits on the red.
Those double hits, yeah, and he can use that actually on his anti-squadron dice too. So.
Oh, you mean your
his anti-ship dice?
Yeah.
But it's probably going to be using on those 3 reds to max.
Black's pretty accurate.
Black's fairly accurate. So he's probably not going to need as much there. But that's pretty good. He's also got 2 braces, and then of course he's got escort. And having brace and escort is a pretty good combo because he's a good. He's a pretty good choice. He's not super expensive. Maybe to throw in with your Reimer ball or something.
Oh yeah.
You got to shoot me, but I'm going to brace those down. Stick around a little longer. So
and he's packing 5 holes, so it's not like
5 holes,
not like you're going to most of the time you're not going to one-shot him.
Right. Well, especially not with the braces. With 2 braces, yeah.
Just want to call out some of the other cool things on the other ships. I really like Saber Squadron's Snipe 4 ability, just because it extends the damage range out to 2, and it's 4 dice. 4 blue dice, and they can't hit you back.
They can't hit you back.
So you ignore the counter keyword.
Yeah. And the Rebel E-Wing in Wave 5 does get sniped, but this is so far the only Imperial ship that gets sniped. So it's pretty cool if they get 1 ship that does that.
And it's actually, I think it's 1 more die higher than the E-Wing.
It is.
So
yeah.
And this is also, all of these ships are relatively fast too. If you look at just ties in general, are going to be fairly quick compared to the Rebel counterparts for the most part.
Slower, yeah.
Yeah. They don't pack as much hull most of the time, but then you have things like, the TIE Bomber Squadron here, you're speed 4 and have 5 hull, which is nothing to sneeze at.
Right.
The same with, the TIE Advanced. So, but yeah, a lot of cool stuff here. I don't think there's any other crazy rules. Sienna Ray has counter 2. Captain Jonas here has a cool unique ability. What was it? Escort up here for Black Squadron, which is nice. Swarm for Rudor there. So it's just a lot of really good utility, I think, that people are going to get out of them.
Some pretty cool things. I expect we'll see a lot of Sienna Ray, but she's a little pricey. Jonas and probably Strom.
I was going to ask you about that points-wise. Do you think anybody's really high in the efficiency curve there for points-wise? Or pretty standard?
Everything's pretty standard. I worry about Black Squadron because it's not it's only a point more than a regular squadron, but it's still fairly weak.
Yeah, it's only 3 hull.
It's only 3 hull. I think everyone is pretty decent in point-wise, though.
Yeah.
Gamma and Tempest are maybe my least favorite out of these because they're just a little better. Like, and I don't know if they're ultimately going to be worth it, but we'll see. They're pretty cool, and just having like a little more flavor. I'm really happy with the extra flavor we're getting in Armada to have some cool, unique stuff going on. Cool.
Well, let's take a quick cut and take a look at those Rebels now. Here are all of the Rebel squadrons now. Some old favorites from X-Wing. If you're a big X-Wing player, you might recognize some of these names, and of course some big movie stars too.
Yep, our favorite movie stars here.
It's true. It's true. Ted Num.
Yep.
I'm just kidding.
It's
He's got the stash.
Yep.
The stash that transcends time, I think.
It does. I mean, if you've seen Rogue One, you'll notice that all of the new pilots in it also have 70s styles stashes.
Yes.
Because that's
it's come back. That's
what you have to have.
The movie waited long enough to come back around to where those stashes are.
I mean, I think it just might be part of like Rebel officer, proper uniform.
The Imperials have to shave, and the Rebels have to grow one. That's the key. All right, let's quit stalling here. Let's talk about some of the ships real quick. You want to start with the old standby there?
Yeah. So again, we've seen a lot of these ships here. Rogue Squadron is probably the one I'm excited for the most out of this entire set. Because it's an X-Wing that gets Rogue.
Oh, I don't understand.
Why I understand. I don't know. It's just a really great card, I think, and it's very points efficient for what it does.
Right on.
So I'm really happy. We've talked about Biggs. He kind of lets you like share some damage around. It's pretty cool.
Yep.
Gold Squadron.
He also has, was it 2 braces?
He does have 2 braces. Yeah.
Which is so nice.
He gets the ace stuff, so that's pretty nice. Down here, Green Squadron is an A-wing that's going to get Bomber. Green Squadron is, of course, the squadron that takes out the
Superstar turret.
The shielding. Well, I do think that Arvel Krenid is a Green Squadron pilot.
He's the guy that crashes.
He's the guy that crashes into. But obviously, this scene is when they're taking out the shielding at Endor.
A little bit of a spoiler for Rogue One, but you ever notice that the Rebels are really good at like doing the orky thing, and ramming stuff?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
That's how their secret tech is, how they just ram stuff.
Yeah.
So. All right.
So getting Bomber is a pretty cool little ability for an A-wing squadron. Makes it a little dangerous.
Shara Bay's got counter 3, which is
she's got
not
counter
too bad.
3.
The ace thing going on there.
Yeah, and then she also gets her crits do damage when she's to fighters when she's using counter. So
nice.
She's like the most deadly counter attacker in the game.
Yeah.
Dagger Squadron.
I believe that's Poe's mom, by the way. So that will explain that. Runs in the family.
It does. Dagger Squadron we hadn't really seen before now. I think it had been spoiled in something little. It's basically a little deadlier B-wing that gets Swarm, so it's actually pretty good at fighting its way out of things.
Yeah.
So cool little upgrade.
Yeah, 2 black dice or 2 blue dice and a black dice.
2 blue dice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be fairly accurate when it's doing damage.
It is.
And it's with Bomber too. It's going to or Bomber also. It's going to be ships should watch out for.
Ships should watch out. Yeah, I mean it's a B-wing, so ships need to watch out for it. 10 Nub. I absolutely love his ability. When he's attacking a squadron, if he gets a blue crit, he basically has an AoE little explosion that hurts a lot of other ships. So he's really good. And then
he's got 2 braces as well.
And 2 braces.
The ace thing.
Yeah, 5 hull. So he's really good. And especially with a lot of the newer abilities that are gonna help mitigate the being so slow. With the new fleet commands that the Rebels are gonna get. The Rebels get in Wave 5.
To make them move.
To make them move faster. It's really great. And then I don't think we had seen these 2. So Gold Squadron, I think Gold Squadron is just a Y-wing that gets an extra blue,
which is interesting.
Which is nice. It's just
and
a
has
slight
Bomber
upgrade.
too. So.
Right. So it can actually do a decent amount of damage. Very reliable.
Theoretically, you could get 2 crit icons.
You could get 2 crit icons.
Is there a crit and a hit on the blue? I forget. I don't think it. I think that's
no. On the blue dice, no. It doesn't ever do more than 1 hit.
Yeah. But you could end up with 2 crits, each causing a damage and causing a crit effect, which could.
I think even squadrons can only do 1 crit effect a turn.
Well, it still does the 1 damage though, right?
Right. So you would do.
So
yeah,
it's
damage.
A critical effect, not multiple.
You would do one face down card and 1 face up card, basically.
Which is not bad for a squadron that costs 12 points.
Not at all.
And then Nora.
It gets an ability that gives all. She's an upgraded Y-wing, and she gives an ability that lets
friendly bombers at distance 1 gain crits. The defending hull zone loses 1 shield.
Right.
So she combos really well with any kind of bomber, really.
With any kind of bomber, and I think the way it would work is that you would do a point of damage and they would lose a shield, basically.
Wow. Yeah, because the bomber ability causes you to still do that damage. Cause a crit effect.
Right.
And then now on top of that, they also lose a shield. So.
Right. So you could by rolling a crit with a bomber, you could do 2 points of shield damage, basically.
It's pretty dirty.
Which is pretty dirty, yeah.
So pretty cool stuff. I think we have some extra bonus cards that are part of the set.
Yep.
So we're going to cut one more time and take a look at those. Last but not least, we have the new station cards. So these are pretty cool. Again, you get that extra station with the tokens.
Right.
So, yeah, there's certain missions that do call for extra stations and things like that. So that's where these come in.
Yeah. So there's a couple missions that you use unarmed stations. These are actually ones where you're trying to destroy the other station.
Okay.
I think there's one that uses actually 2 of them, which is why you get 2 cards and 2 station things. And basically they're treated like a one whole zone ship. It's got 10 hit points. You attack it. You can't do crits against them or anything.
Okay, so you just have to put 10 damage on them to count them as destroyed.
To kill them. These ones can't fight. Then you've also got the arm station. And like, first off, I don't know if you can tell on this picture, like, this thing is supposed to be really big. Like, those are like interdictor cruisers landing on it.
Yeah, you're right.
Because they've got the 4 little bumps on them.
Yeah, that thing's massive.
Yeah, so this is like a massive space station. And it may not seem like crazy at first because it's
13 hull.
It's 13 hull. Now this is the actually anti-squadron armament, and this is the anti-ship armament, just like on a squadron.
Yeah.
So it's not that crazy at shooting
ships.
But it's got a 4 dice anti-squadron armament,
which is kind of scary.
And the thing about this is that
the blues have no misses, but the reds also come with the double hit again.
Right. So my understanding is that,
I mean, just based on the pure die roll of that, you could cap out at 6 points of damage, 6 points of damage to a ship.
So my understanding though is that it says in the rules that it counts as a ship when it's attacking or defending, not as a squadron.
Oh wow!
So it would actually, my understanding, I could be wrong about this, but from reading the rules, when it says it counts as a ship when attacking, is that it makes an anti-squadron attack, which means it attacks every squadron within range because it has a 360 sight arc.
Wow.
So I might need to get some clarification on that, but based on on looking through the rule book, if it attacks,
because if it does an anti-squadron attack, that's all the ships,
every ship within range and line of sight, and it has 1 hull zone that's a 360 sight arc, so it would attack every ship within range of it.
Yeah, we'll double check on that for sure, but for now, that makes this guy super deadly against fighters.
And he can attack out to red range. We haven't had any other ship that's ever been able to, any ship that has a red anti-squadron dice.
Yeah.
So, again,
because it's a ship, yeah, red. Ooh,
right.
A lot of questions.
So
there.
I have a couple questions about that. But if that's accurate, that thing is death to fighters that come nearby it because it's going to attack everything in a massive zone.
Wow. Yeah, that's going to be a really popular station.
Yeah.
For that one mission.
For that one mission that you get. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, that's pretty much everything in the box, right, Abe?
Yeah, there's just again we've got the rule book here, which we didn't really look at much.
Let's open that up real quick.
And we can. You want to zoom out real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zoom out. Here we go.
So this is the rule book. It's about, what do we got here? It's
like 15 pages.
16 pages or so. With an index at the back.
Yeah, so it's a total of 19 pages long.
Yeah.
Is there anything on the very back? Yeah, so
just
it's
a quick
20
reference.
Total,
Yeah,
the quick reference stuff.
Yeah, and it's got just all the rules you need to play to both use the new stuff, like the dust fields, the new stations.
Yeah, and you can show right here again. This is where you're getting that.
So it says a station is treated as a ship with 1 hull zone while it is attacking or defending.
Each station has a 360 firing arc.
Stations are treated as ships while resolving effects.
Yeah.
So it's a little weird because it has the card is written more like a squadron card.
Right.
But I think it resolves an attack. If it resolves an attack like a ship, that's a really powerful attack.
Yeah. And it doesn't get crit.
It can't be critted.
Yeah. But anyway,
yeah. So then people probably debate this.
Yeah.
But we got a couple different diagrams. This is how you play out, set up for a long game, and then of course, spoiler alert. At the back, you've got the large six fleet battle.
Are you trying to tell me there's a 6 fleet mission?
You can have a 6 fleet battle to end your campaign,
right?
In a a massive
or if you want
2,000 point battle or something.
A 4 point, yeah, 4 fleets.
If you don't have as many players, yep. So it's got all the missions. You can build bases, you can destroy bases, you manage your fleet.
Yeah, this is basically how to run the campaign.
Yep.
So all the battle phase, stuff like that. Yep. And it's not a ton of rules to really learn. It's just campaign management stuff. If you've ever played in a campaign before, you could probably read through these rules and get some ideas for running other games campaigns too.
Absolutely.
So, and how to use stickers.
Yeah.
You peel them off and then place them where you don't want them to leave. So.
Yes.
But yeah, it's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much it.
Cool.
And they do note, I just want to say, on the regard of stickers, while you can put the stickers down on the map and everything, they do note that primarily you should be keeping track of stuff.
Yes.
On these, so even if you had on the
one you photocopy.
Yeah. So even if you had already placed stickers on the map, you could play everything on this.
Yeah. And
leave the map as it is.
Yeah. The map's good though because it actually shows you where things are in relation to each other,
right.
where fleets will be and stuff like that. So, I think that's pretty much it for the rules.
That's the Corellian campaign.
Yeah. If you quick reference there again, if you want to read through that, just strategy phase for the campaign turn. Battle phase, management phase, so and then you actually play the game. So.
Yeah.
And then there's also rules for constructing new bases as outposts, refitting and expanding fleets. So probably repairing stuff and bringing aces back. Or
yeah, so. you can heal some stuff. Now I do know that most of the time when a unique thing dies in the game, it's gone forever.
Right.
And one of the other cool things is I know that the unique things are unique per side, not per player.
Which is good.
So if you've got like that dagger squadron, only one of the rebel players can get it, which is a cool little thing.
So really, if you're in the rebels and you see like Vader on the table and like that first game, you're like, I'm going to devote a lot of resources just to kill
Vader.
That one
Vader's
ship.
Gone forever.
He's gone forever. Yeah, which is kind of cool.
It is kind of cool.
Yeah, but it looks like too this game, the campaign has a definite end as well.
Yeah,
so.
It's only a few turns. It doesn't take very long. It's supposed to be played like a 6 or something turns, I think. Yeah. About one turn a week kind of
thing. So that's nice because a lot of the time you get into a campaign and you just keep playing and playing and
like
playing.
3 months down, you're like, everyone loses interest and stuff. So I think they did a good job of designing a short, small campaign that would actually get finished.
And you can replay it.
You
if you want to keep playing the campaign.
But like 6 players is an easily manageable number. 6 or so weeks is a good time period.
That's a great amount of time to play in a campaign. So that's pretty much everything you're going to get in the Star Wars Armada Corellian Conflict Campaign Expansion box. I'm AdamHarry from BoLS.
And I'm StableAbe.
Thanks for watching. Have a good one.